Friends, I'm coming from Ukraine, from a country whose president, probably the only one in Europe, is Jewish. Vladimir Zelensky. And in the same time, I'm coming from a country which American Anti-Defamation League put on a list of the most anti-Semitic countries in Europe, after Poland. And I'd like to say this in order to show you the complexity of the issue when we speak about anti-Semitism in Ukraine. They use this, the presidency of Zelensky, in both ways. They say, nationalistic groups, political parties, activists, civil society, and many people say that this is a clear example of how Jews taken over Ukraine. Zelensky is saying in the interview that there is no anti-Semitism in Ukraine because he is Jewish. So the truth is somewhere in the middle. I was witnessing, because I was born and raised in the Soviet Union, and I perfectly remember what was going on there, the state anti-Semitism. I was witnessing all these 30 years of Ukrainian independence since the collapse of the Soviet Union. The last 5 years is unbelievable rise of anti-Semitism, specifically and especially anti-Semitic rhetoric, especially in the social media. We've got, by our estimation, hundreds and thousands of everyday comments and rhetorics and statements every day, anti-Semitic, which we count as anti-Semitic incidents. We don't have, or very rare and extremely rare anti-Semitic physical violence against people. Probably because we have a very small Islamic community, probably because we don't have immigration from the East, but this is not the issues yet for Ukraine, the physical violence, physical attacks. But we are facing the things which no Jewish community in Europe were facing since the war. We lost part of our community by the annexation of Crimea. About 10,000 or more Jews became citizens, became Russia by annexation of Crimea. We lost more than 10,000 Jews, not physically, but by the war in the East, by the conflict, aggression of Russia in the east of Ukraine. There are two very large communities are now isolated. Was Donetsk and Lugansk. There were thousands of people. Some of them had to migrate, to relocate inside of Ukraine. For example, now in Kyiv, you can find a Donetsk Jewish community. These are the people who were forced to leave their homes and to go in Kyiv with their own rabbi, by the way. The chief rabbi, Pinchas Vyshetsky, who is chairman now Donetsk community in Kyiv. Rabbi Assman, he initiated a project. He built a few houses outside of Kyiv for these Jews who relocated from Donetsk. This place is called Anatevka. Anatevka is after Shalom Aleichem, famous Fiddler on the Roof, a place in, it's actually where near Kyiv. But I feel that we believe that security and protection of Jewish community is not only physical protection, like I saw the entrance doors to this building. It's amazing. I never seen anything like this, the thickness. But we feel we, Ukrainian Jews, the Ukrainian Jewish community, which were totally annihilated during the Holocaust. 90% of us were killed. Only few survived. But we were able to, within these 30 years, to revive our institutions. But we do have problems with the government, as you made the question, what I can say about our government. Our government encourages nationalistic groups. Our government encourages glorification of Nazi collaborators, mass murderers, and murderers of Jews. Literally, there are hundreds of monuments, streets, named after killers of Jews. You can't imagine in the West. You can't imagine in France, for example, a monument to a policeman who were escorting Jews to the Nazi death camps. Our government continuously rejecting invitation to become member of International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance. They continuously rejecting adopting of IRA working definition. We have in the criminal code an article, 161, for violation of equality. It's somewhere near anti-Semitism. But no one, in 30 years, no one was ever convicted. We have anti-Semitic incidents every day, various. Vandalism on mass graves, Holocaust mass graves, vandalism on Jewish monuments. Shalom Aleichem latest was vandalized with swastikas in Kiev, center of Kiev. Babi Yar, whatever. No one was ever convicted because they did this article that it's initially is not workable. So no one could be punished. So we have, and therefore I'm finishing and asking that if in practical ways, Ukraine is vulnerable and dependent. But Europe is making a lot of help to Ukraine. And in the same time, Europe, and European institutions, and the Jewish institutions as well, should press Ukraine for adopting things that I just mentioned. For not to be in a state of denial. Because our relations is denial. I mean, they deny the issue of anti-Semitism in the country. They totally deny. You can see there was public statements by Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine. They said that there was an ADL survey, Ministry for Diaspora of Israel, leaders of American Congresses. They always deny the issue. From our Jewish president towards the law enforcement at the lowest level. So my point is that we need your support in things which local Ukrainians do not want to listen from us, from Jews. They can listen it from European government, from ambassadors on anti-Semitism, which are present in this audience. As I understand, there are a few of special ambassadors on anti-Semitic issues.